Assassination plots have been a part of American political history since the 19th century. Here is a brief history of assassination attempts on the lives of president and presidential candidates. 4 presidents have been killed by assassins. At number 1 is Andrew Jackson, 1835. On Friday, January 30, 1835, Richard Lawrence attempted to shoot President Andrew Jackson at the Capitol. Both of his pistols misfired. Historian John William Ward characterized Lawrence as a lunatic who later described himself as heir to the British crown. At number 2 is Abraham Lincoln, 1865. On Friday, April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln was mortally wounded by noted actor John Wilkes Booth while watching Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater in Washington. Booth's fellow conspirators, all supporters of the Confederacy, also sought to kill other government leaders that night, but succeeded only in wounding Secretary of State William Seward. At number 3 is James Garfield, 1881. On Saturday, July 2, 1881, President James Garfield was shot by Charles J. Guiteau at a train station in Washington. Historical evidence indicated Garfield could possibly have survived, but his doctors handled the case poorly and he died in September. At number 4 is William McKinley, 1901. On Friday, September 6, 1901, President William McKinley was shot by Leon Czolgosz at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo and died of gangrene 8 days later. At number 5 is Theodore Roosevelt, 1912. On Monday, October 14, 1912, former President Theodore Roosevelt, seeking the office again, was shot and wounded by John Schrank while campaigning in Milwaukee. Although he has a bullet in his chest, it passed through a copy of the speech he was to give. Roosevelt addressed the crowd anyway and then sought medical treatment. At number 6 is Franklin Roosevelt, 1933. On Wednesday, February 15, 1933, Giuseppe Zangara attempted to shoot President-elect Franklin Delano Roosevelt in Miami. His first shot missed Roosevelt. In the ensued struggle over his gun, Zangara fired more shots, fatally wounding Chicago Mayor Anton Carmack. At number 7 is Huey P. Long, 1935. On Sunday, September 8, 1935, Huey P. Long, a senator from Louisiana who was expected to run for president in 1936, was shot and killed at Louisiana State Capitol. Carl West shot at Long, but it is widely believed Long was accidentally killed by return fire from his bodyguards. At number 8 is Harry Truman, 1950. On Wednesday, November 1st, 1950, Puerto Rican nationalists tried to kill President Harry Truman, who was temporarily residing at Blair House in Washington during White House renovations. Though mortally wounded, White House policeman Leslie Coffelt was able to kill Griselio Torresola before he entered the building. Oscar Collazo, the other would-be killer, was also stopped before entering Blair House. At number 9 is John F. Kennedy, 1960. On Sunday, December 11, 1960, Richard Paul Pavlik planned to crash into the car of President-elect John F. Kennedy and blow it up with dynamite, but changes his mind when he sees the president's wife and children with him. Pavlik was still intent on carrying out the plot at a later date, but he was arrested before he could do so. At number 10 is John F. Kennedy, 1963. On Friday, November 22, 1963, John F. Kennedy was eventually shot and killed during a motorcade in downtown Dallas. Texas Governor John Connally was also wounded. 2 days later, Lee Harvey Oswald, who was in custody and suspected of the assassination, was killed by nightclub owner Jack Ruby while being transported by police. A commission led by Supreme Court Chief Justice Earl Warren subsequently declared that Oswald was the lone assassin. At number 11 is Robert F. Kennedy, 1968. On Wednesday, June 5, 1968, presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed by Saran in the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles after winning the California primary. The murder, which came only 2 months after the fatal shooting of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in Memphis, pushed the Democratic Party towards a crisis at its political convention that summer. At number 12 is George Wallace, 1972. On Wednesday, March 15, 1972, Arthur Bremer shot Democratic presidential candidate George Wallace in Laurel, Maryland, leaving Wallace paralyzed. 3 other people were wounded. Bremer had previously sought to shoot President Richard Nixon but was unable to get close enough to do so. At number 13 is Richard Nixon, 1974. On Friday, February 22, 1974, Samuel Bike hijacked a DC-9 with the intention of crashing it into the White House to kill Nixon, but he was fatally shot by police before he could do so. At number 14 is Gerald Ford, 1975. On Friday, September 5, 1975, Lynette Squeaky Fromm, a supporter of the mass murderer Charles Manson, tried to shoot President Gerald Ford in Sacramento. Her gun misfired. At number 15 is Gerald Ford, 1975. On Monday, September 22, 1975, Sarah Jane Moore shot at Ford in San Francisco but missed. At number 16 is Ronald Reagan, 1981. On Monday, March 30, 1981, John Hinckley Jr. shot President Ronald Reagan as he exits the Hilton Hotel in Washington, seriously wounding the president. Press Secretary James Brady was wounded as well. His death 33 years later would be ruled a homicide. Hinckley had stalked President Jimmy Carter in October 1980, but did not do anything at that point. At number 17 is George H.W. Bush, 1993. In April 1993, a plot to blow up President George H.W. Bush by car bomb was foiled in Kuwait. The assassins were in the employ of Iraqi President Saddam Hussein. At number 18 is Barack Obama, 2011. On Friday, November 11, 2011, Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez fired multiple shots at the White House, striking the building, but not injuring any members of President Barack Obama's family or anyone else. At number 19, Democrat in 2018. In 2018, pipe bombs were mailed by Cesar Sayok Jr. to a number of leading Democrats, including Obama, former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, and President Joe Biden. None harmed their target. At number 20 is Donald Trump, 2024. On Saturday, July 13, 2024, former President Donald Trump was shot and wounded during a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. One attendee of the rally was killed. The Secret Service killed the shooter. The FBI subsequently identified the would-be assassin as Thomas Matthew Crooks.